Good afternoon, everybody. Well, good evening, everybody. This is Big Mike back here with you once again with my reviews for not only AEW Full Gear, but New Japan Pro Wrestling's Battle in the Valley. So let's not have any more delays and let's get right into it. So, first and only match on the pre-show for AEW Full Gear, you had Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa taking on Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter. I wouldn't say it was a match to write home about. It was definitely exciting. You know, plenty of near falls, plenty of false finishes. Not a lot of diving, though, which, kind of surprises me, but you had Shida trying to use her speed more against Nyla Rose. You had Thunder Rosa and Hayter going at it. I believe all 4 women are in the TBS tournament, I think. So this is more of a showcase for them. Although I wish more of the TBS tournament was on the main show. Like, give me a match or 2 in there. That's all I'm asking. Overall, pretty good match. Shida and Rosa with the big old win. And I think Shida got the pin too, actually, which is very nice. First match up on the main card. And I can't believe this went on this early. MJF versus Darby Allin. And this match set the standard for the night. This was an incredible match. Plenty of storytelling, including when Darby made his entrance. He was calm, he was collected, he looked like he did get most of his aggression out during the beatdown of MJF on Wednesday. Or was it the past Friday on Rampage? No, it was Wednesday. I'm right. Then during the match, MJF got Darby's skateboard. Looked like he was going to hit him with it. Got down on his level. Pushed Darby the skateboard. Looked like Darby was about to hit him with it. He didn't. Out comes Spears and Wardlow, which brought out Sting again to fight them off. MJF gets his dynamite diamond ring. Boop. Hits Darby Allin with it. Headlock takeover, like he predicted he would do. 1, 2, 3. Winner MJF. And I'll say this. Even though this is Darby Allin's second pay-per-view loss, I kind of still feel like he's okay. Like, I feel like he, even in the loss, he feels like a top guy. Like, I feel like this match in the near future is going to be a world title match. And everyone is going to be hyped for it. So, give this match another big old thumbs up. Next match. Oh, this is an interesting one. As it's the AEW World Title match, Tag Team Title match. We're not up to the World Title yet. We'll get there. As the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix take on FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. This was one of my favorite tag team matches, maybe in AEW, even though I really did love the Bucks versus Paige and Omega. But then came the finish in which FTR was outside the ring. They were underneath grabbing something. They got the Los Luchadors mask. Or whatever the hell they called that. In which they used to win the AAA tag team titles. So, that's the only thing that really kind of got me that finish. Dax Harwood was the legal man. But then, no. Cash Wheeler was the legal man. No, I'm wrong. Dax Harwood was the legal man, but Cash Wheeler got in the ring with the mask on, so apparently the ref couldn't tell the difference. The only reason would be kind of okay with this is we already have a match between these two teams for a AAA show that's coming up in December, and maybe this will be title for title. But overall, the match was great. I'll give it that. Finish left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. So, yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I wish there was a better way they could have gotten to this finish. You know what I mean? All right. Next up, a barn burner of a bout between Bryan Danielson and Miro. And this is for a future shot at the AEW World Heavyweight title. Bryan Danielson, I almost called him Daniel Bryan. You know who he is. Using more of his speed and finesse over Miro's overwhelming power, including Miro forcing himself out of the label lock. Bryan Danielson, I'm going to keep doing that, I swear. Tit for tat, tried to put him in so many submission finishes, and Miro just powering himself out. It was great. Ending came on a knee bar, in which you saw that Miro had his knee all taped up from the last match he had. And, Miro, I think Miro passed out. I don't think he tapped. I never saw him tap, so I think that'll keep him strong, and Bryan Danielson gets a future world title shot. And boy, oh boy, is his opponent something else. We'll see. We'll get there. Big thumbs up for me. Now, this next match going in, I was a little hesitant because, honestly, this feud has gone on for a little bit too long. This Jurassic Express and Christian Cage took on the Super Clique. That's the Young Bucks and Adam Cole. Right off the bat, they brought in weapons, hit each other with chairs, a trash can. They threw each other off the stage a couple times. Cole hit the Panama Sunrise off the stage setting. Luchasaurus did a backflip off the ramp onto people. That was nuts. Finish came with, I want to say it was Nick Jackson. It might have been Matt. I don't know. I could not tell these two apart to me. They look exactly the same to me. I'm sorry if that's racist or whatever, but yeah, that's just me. Had his head down. Christian slides a chair under him. Looks like he's going to go for a concerto. Jungle Boy stops him. He says, I'll do it. And then just, bah! One concerto, pin, 1, 2, 3. Jurassic Express and Christian Cage with the win. I personally didn't see that coming. And it was a car crash of a match. And I am all for it. That match gets a thumbs up from me. I honestly thought the Super Clique were going to win this one. And then maybe later Omega. Well, you'll see. Next match. A bit of a boring one, but by the end it was alright. You have Cody Rhodes and Pac taking on Andrade El Idolo and Malachi Black. Only reason crowd was into it was to boo Cody, which is a shame because everyone is super talented in this match. And throughout, you had the, oh, can they coexist angle, in which, for the most part, they really didn't. All kinds of blind tags. Pac tagged Cody really hard on the shoulder once. Andrade almost landed on his head doing his over the top rope flip thing. Oh, and by the way, Andrade, I think this was one of his best matches. I think he's finally finding his footing post WWE, which is great. I can't wait to see more of him in the ring. Match ends after Pac hits Andrade with the Black Arrow, which I haven't seen that in a million years. Good on Pac for Pac and Cody to get the win. Post-match FTR, no, I think it was just Cash that came out and started beating down Cody and Pac, which I hope that's the end of this angle because I'm not the biggest fan of it. But overall, solid match. Even though it had the overdone, oh, can they coexist, thrown together tag team angle. Next up, I'd say a pretty damn good women's match, but I will also say the crowd kind of took me out of it because they did try to get themselves hyped, but throughout it was kind of silence, which is a shame because Ty Conti and Britt Baker brought it. They hit each other really hard out there. Like, I think at one point, Ty Conti almost kicked Britt Baker's head off. Oh, and this is for the women's title, if I didn't mention that, which is currently held by Britt Baker. Also, kind of disappointing is the Britt Baker matches are kind of starting to become a little formulaic. Not to say it's a bad thing. I like a good chicken shit heel that needs a little help to win. However, it's getting a little old, and I kind of want to see Britt Baker do it on her own. Basically, what happens, Jamie Hayter distracts the ref. Rebel comes in. No, other way around. Rebel distracts the ref. Hayter, kind of does her damage to Ty Conti. Slides her right back in the ring. Stomp. And then lockjaw submission for the win. Overall, I found this to be a really good match. Like I said, the crowd kind of took it out of me. Like, they sort of feigned interest, but they weren't really into it, which is a shame because these two low-key killed it. So, yeah, thumbs up from me. Next match. A match that re-woke up the crowd. You have CM Punk taking on Eddie Kingston. Now, these two apparently have a very long relationship from when they were both in the Indies before Punk went to ROH, I think. Where Punk called Eddie and his partner, I forget his partner at the time's name, fat, lazy, and unmotivated, which, I guess drove Kingston to do more, which is obviously great. Straight off the bat, you had, Kingston hit an elbow on Punk before the bell even rang. Bell rang, they went right at each other. Punch, 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 punch. It was less of a wrestling match and more of a brawl with two guys who actually hate each other. In which I could definitely believe that. Punk went for a GTS. Kingston slips out. Kingston whiffs on a hammer fist or whatever his finishing move is. I kind of forget. I'm sorry. And Punk's with a surprise GTS for the win. And I will say, as a match, it wasn't bad, but as a brawl, I loved it. I think it was one of the matches of the night. My favorite match being the Darby Allin MJF match. That was a great match. I do hope this isn't the end for Punk Kingston, because I would love to see them go again in some kind of hardcore stipulation match. You know, Extreme Rules, Street Fight, whatever. It'd be great. Those two work really well together. Next match is the match I'd like to call the Inner Circle Jerk, in which it's the Inner Circle, Jericho, Santana and Ortiz, Sammy Guevara, and Jake Hager versus Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, Junior Dos Santos, Andrade Arlovsky, and Dan Lambert. This storyline, personally, I could care less about. Like, I do get the payoff for this match was going to be Dan Lambert getting his ass kicked, which he did. To start, though, was really weird. Like, it was supposed to be this big Minnesota street fight, but they started doing, like, normal tag rules. Like, it looked like what was going to happen about this time next weekend at Survivor Series. And it just felt weird. And then they brought in the weapons. They started whacking each other. I will say, Dos Santos looked really good in this. And I do hope he continues trying to be a wrestler, because I think he can do it. Like, I think he can pull it off. Just without Lambert. Let's get Lambert out of the way. One point, Sammy Guevara gets up on a ladder and swantons on I believe it was Arlovsky. It could have been, no, it was Ethan Page. That's who it was. Through a table, which was sick. Finish came where Lambert tried to get another Walls of Jericho on Jericho. He counted it out of that. Judas Effect, 1, 2, 3. And that's it. I hope that is 100% it for this feud, because I really don't want more of this. Overall, it's kind of here. It's not really up. It's not really down. It was okay. Like, I feel like if this was a little higher up, it wasn't the semi-main event, I think it would have been a little better. But to each their own. Now, before we get to the main event, we had a Tony Schiavone interview introducing us to AEW's newest signing. And no, they're not letting him in yet. It's former ROH World Champion, former ROH World Tag Team Champion, former Impact Tag Champion, former Impact X Division Champion, Jay Lethal, which I am super surprised by. I did not see him coming. And maybe this has implications for what's going on with Ring of Honor, which overall does make me sad. But I am super glad that AEW scooped him up. He is a heck of a talent, and I hope there's some more following. He did challenge Guevara for the TNT title, which that match is going to happen this Wednesday, which I can't freaking wait. That's going to be awesome. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for, your main event of the evening, as Kenny by God Omega is set to take on Adam Hangman Page. Oh, this match I've been waiting for forever, since the start of AEW. Page actually got one of the first shot at the AEW World title when it wasn't held by anyone, lost it to Jericho. Then he and Omega last year at Full Gear faced each other in the AEW title eliminator tournament, which Kenny won, I believe, by cheating. No, he won the title by cheating because that's when Don Callis came up from the desk and was like, distracted Moxley. And that led to this title reign. Hangman got a really funny entrance video where he's like riding a horse through Minnesota and people are running from him, which is funny as hell. And then Kenny came in with a cape, which was weird, but alright, whatever. Don Callis by his side. He just came back this past week after being in his basement for 6 weeks. I don't know what... Maybe that's a shot at someone like me, but whatever. This match was really good. Like, it was fast-paced. They did all kinds of storytelling. Hangman countered the one-winged angel a couple times, including hitting his own, in which Kenny kicked out, in which a lot of people were thinking, oh, Hangman's going to kick out a one-winged angel. Nope, Kenny's going to do it, which, that's funny. That's great. That's some great storytelling. And then out come the Young Bucks, and then we're all thinking, oh, here we go. Kenny needs help again. But then you kind of just see them interacting with Hangman. You got Hangman on the outside looking for that buckshot. Then you hear Matt say, do it. Hit him with it. Then Kenny kind of goes to the other side. And so does Hangman. Then you see Matt look up to Hangman. Give him a nod. Flip over. Biggest buckshot lariat you've ever seen. 1, 2, 3. Your winner and new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Hangman Adam Page. And I am super hyped for this. This man has been grinding for years. And now he won the big one. And his first stop, well, maybe not his first stop, but it's coming down the line. We got Hangman Page versus Bryan Danielson. Holy Nikes, that's going to be a good match. Overall, despite a couple of hiccups, maybe some bad moments, a little bit with the crowd, overall, this pay-per-view gets a thumbs up from me. And if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out on BR Live. I believe it's on Fight in the US now, so you can watch that on replay. But if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. It is beautiful. Alright, now if you'll give me 1 second, and I'll be right back with you. Now, happening at about the same time as this ended around midnight, New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong had their Battle in the Valley show in San Diego, California. So, more than likely, none of these guys were going to go to Minnesota and show up. So, here we are. New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle in the Valley. Ooh, I guess I missed this match. Alright, first match I did see, which is on Fight, I believe there was a pre-show match, but I guess I missed it. We have Josh Alexander, technically former Impact champion. He did win it at Bound for Glory, but then he got screwed by Moose. We'll see him later. taking on Yuha Yumehira, who is a New Japan young boy, meaning he doesn't really have a gimmick. He wears black tights. He doesn't have his own entrance music. I'm going to say this. Yumehira impressed me with this. He pretty much countered everything Josh Alexander had. But overall, Josh Alexander was going to get the win because I think he needs a win every now and again. So solid back and forth match. Kind of a bit of a strong style match. They definitely hit each other hard, so for that, give it a thumbs up. Next match, standard tag team match playa as the Stray Dog Army. I do not get that name. Someone might have to explain that one to me. Which is Bateman, who is a part of the Righteous over in ROH, and Mysterioso, who is a masked luchador that I really haven't seen much of, taking on Violence Unlimited, the combination of Brody King and Chris Dickinson. This was a wild affair. Definitely some big shots coming from both sides. And a bit of a scary moment as I believe it was Mysterioso hit a... No, it was Bateman who hit the big move on Dickinson. And it did not look pretty. Dickinson had to get stretchered out. Overall, match was good. I do hope Dickinson heals up very soon and we see him back in the ring somewhere down the line. Next up, a big old 10-man tag team match playa. As we have Fred Rosser, David Finlay, we'll talk about his partner in a little bit, Rocky Romero, who is wrestling just about everywhere right now, Alex Coughlin, who really impressed me watching this, and Alex Zane, who is another guy who's kind of wrestling everywhere, as they took on Team Filthy, which is Filthy Tom Lawler, the strong openweight champion, J.R. Kratos, former NWA World Tag Champion, Danny Limelight, who is pretty much all over the place right now, although he is in MLW right now too, so that's pretty cool. Jerome Nelson, I'm not really that familiar with him, and Royce Isaacs, who is another former NWA World Tag Team Champion. This was definitely a wild affair. Rosser, Darren Young, early on got most of this beat down against him. His teammates definitely had a wild brawl on the outside in which Kratos did a dive through the ropes, which was crazy, considering he's a big dude. Coughlin manhandling J.R. Kratos at one point, which was absolutely nutso. Match ended, though, with Rosser getting one over on, I believe it was Nelson, which, fair point. And Team Rosser with the big W, which, you know what? I didn't see that coming. Maybe it's time to get rid of Team Filthy after a little bit. Who knows? Overall, bit of a cluster, you know what? Bit too many people for my taste in this match. Next up, we got a couple of young lions as Clark Connors and Carl Fredericks take on the United Empire, being represented by Jeff Cobb and TJP. If you haven't seen Jeff Cobb wrestle yet, go look out for him. He is a beast of a human being. Match starts off with the United Empire kind of dominating. Clark Connors, who is, a bit young, he's just kind of starting out with the New Japan style. Then Fredericks comes in and just cleans house, hits his finisher. 1, 2, 3. Winners, the Young Lions, the LA Dojo Kids, which personally I'm kind of surprised by. Overall, fun match. I'll give this a look at. Next up, a bit of a surprise match when it comes to, you know, skills, as Will Ospreay, the self-proclaimed real IWGP World Champion, takes on Ren Narita, who has been, climbing the ranks a little bit, even as a young lion. Narita, at some points, he would have submissions on, and then Ospreay would get out of it. Ospreay hit an Os cutter, which is pretty much a Cody cutter. Springboard, boom. Kick out by Narita. At one point, they actually had the crowd chanting for Narita. And then Will Ospreay hit his finish. 1, 2, 3. That's it for Mr. Narita. Which, you know what? I think that was one of my favorite matches on this show. Narita showed he can hang with a technically former world champion, technically current world champion. I don't know how this goes, really. No real respect from the United Empire frontman, but yeah, we'll see where this goes. Next match, we have Moose, the current Impact World Heavyweight Champion, taking on Juice Robinson, who issued this challenge to Moose, who accepted. And boy, oh boy, this was a great match. Juice using his speed to outmatch Moose. Eventually, Moose does hit a powerbomb on Juice. 1, 2, no. And all of a sudden, the biggest bone-crunching spear I've ever heard in my life. And then the 1, 2, 3, winner, Moose. And then as Moose is celebrating, out comes the former Bronson Reed, named Joshua, something like that. And he definitely had a stare down with Moose, so maybe we'll see that down the line. Moose leaves, he attacks Juice. David Finlay comes up, and we're like, oh. So it does look like Mr. Joshua is going to be in NJPW Strong, which, you know what, I'm there. And then there's always the forbidden door. He could walk right through. And I'm there for it. Match and segment gets a thumbs up from me. Next match is a match I don't think any of us would have seen coming a day in our lives, as Kazuchika Okada takes on Buddy Matthews. If you remember him from WWE, that's Buddy Murphy. So, yeah, definitely crazy, big striking matches. At one point, Matthews tried to go for the Rainmaker, and he missed. Definitely some high-flying stuff, including Matthews with a flip off of the top rope. Match ends after Okada counters a big knee from Matthews into a Rainmaker. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that was a big, powerful, hard-hitting matchup from, honestly, two of the best to ever do it. I wouldn't mind seeing them go again. So, match gets a big thumbs up from me. Post-match, out comes Will Ospreay with his world title. And, storyline-wise, Okada won the G1 Climax, which is a big old tournament to determine a winner to challenge the world champion at their big show, which is, God damn it, what is that? It's pretty much their WrestleMania. Now, the world title did get a redesign. It kind of looks like the old Divas title, if you remember that, which was a disgusting title. Okada, instead of bringing around the briefcase that usually goes to the G1 Climax winner, has the old designed IWGP World title, which I do miss. Not gonna lie. And Ospreay has pretty much said, you get Shingo Takagi, who is the current IWGP World title. The next New Japan, the big New Japan show coming in January, I believe it is going to be, I believe, 3 nights. So night 1, we're going to have Takagi versus Okada. Night 2, we're going to get the winner of that match taking on Will Ospreay, in which I'm there for it. Let's do this. Match is going to be absolutely great. I can't wait to see what they do. And finally, we have the the Never Open Weight Championship match between Tomohiro Ishii of Chaos. Oh, I just realized something. Hold on. And he takes on current champion of Bullet Club. The Bullet Club's leader, I guess. Jay White. And Jay has said if Ishii doesn't win the title here, he doesn't get another shot ever again. So Ishii comes out really strong, batters for Jay White. Jay White comes up with some offense of his own, which ultimately does get countered by Ishii, which, Ishii's a hard-hitting dude. I wouldn't want to be messing with him. Let me tell you. Eventually, Ishii does get him down with his submission. Does he have a submission finisher? No, he doesn't. I honestly don't really remember what his finisher was, but he hits it. 1, 2, 3. Winner and new Never Open Weight champion, Tomohiro Ishii. And he's taken that title on Wednesday to AEW Dynamite to team with Orange Cassidy to take on Butcher and the Blade. That's insane. This is... Wrestling is great when you do stuff like this. I hope one day Impact does get back involved with this and something more happens with that relationship. Let's get NWA in here. Let's get MOW. If they survive, let's get ROH in here. It's a hell of a match. Very hard-hitting. Very nerve-wracking. But overall, a fun night of wrestling. And I cannot wait for more. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. And I shall see you next time. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought of both shows. And let's hear what you think of our new champions. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I shall see you next time. Peace.